In a small village nestled between the grey cliffs and the dark sea, there stood an ancient bell tower. The villagers called it the Bell of Eldemere, though none could recall the last time it had rung. It was said that long ago, before memory itself, the bell had a voice so pure that it could calm storms and carry messages to the heavens. But something had silenced it, and for generations it had remained mute, its great iron tongue frozen in place. The people of Eldemere lived simple lives, fishing the rough waters and tilling the rocky soil. Though their days were hard, they endured with quiet determination. Among them was a girl named Lina, who had never spoken a word in her life. She had been born mute, and though her family loved her, many in the village believed she carried an ill omen. Some whispered that she was the reason the bell would not ring, though they had no proof, only fear. Despite their suspicions, Lina was kind and diligent, helping her father mend fishing nets and tending to the village's elder, old Mara. It was Mara who told her the legend of the bell. It once rang for joy and sorrow alike. When a child was born, it sang. When a soul passed, it wept. The bell and the village were one. But one night, a great grief silenced it, and now it waits for a voice that can wake it again. Lina listened, wide-eyed, but Mara could say no more. No one knew what had caused the bell to fall silent. One evening, as a storm raged over the cliffs, a shipwreck washed onto the shore. Among the wreckage, Lina found a boy, barely clinging to life. He was dressed in fine, foreign clothes, and his skin was pale as the moon. The villagers hesitated, uncertain whether to help him. But Lina did not hesitate. She brought him to her home, where she and her family nursed him back to health. The boy's name was Corwin, and though he spoke little of his past, Lina sensed that he carried a sorrow as heavy as the silent bell. As the weeks passed, they became inseparable, speaking in gestures and quiet understanding. For the first time, Lina felt truly seen, not as a curse, but as a person. One day, Corwin climbed the steps of the bell tower, staring at the great iron bell that loomed above. When Lina joined him, he whispered, "I know why it is silent." He told her of a legend from his homeland, a tale of a bell that could feel sorrow, of a village that had suffered a great loss, and of a voice that had been stolen by the sea. He believed that someone had once tried to ring the bell in grief, so great that it swallowed their voice, and the bell's own voice along with it. Lina's heart ached, for she knew something of stolen voices. She had always wondered why she had been born without speech, why her words had never formed, and now she wondered, could it be that her silence and the bells were one and the same? That night, she dreamed of the sea whispering her name. When she woke, she knew what she had to do. With Corwin at her side, she climbed the tower again. Placing her hands on the cold iron of the bell, she closed her eyes, feeling the weight of its sorrow. And in her heart, she spoke, "If my silence is the price, then take it. Let the bell ring again." A great stillness filled the air. Then, with a sound like the first crack of dawn, the bell shuddered. A single, mournful chime rang through the village, echoing over the cliffs and across the sea. The people ran from their homes, staring in awe as the bell, after generations of silence, found its voice once more. And Lina gasped as sound left her lips for the first time. "Corwin!" she cried, reaching for him. But Corwin was already fading, his form dissolving into mist and moonlight. He smiled at her, his eyes full of sorrow and peace. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice carrying in the wind. Then he was gone. The villagers found Lina standing alone in the bell tower, her voice returned but her heart broken. Though they did not understand what had happened, they no longer saw her as a curse. She had awakened the bell, and in doing so, had healed something deep and old in the village itself. Yet Lina never forgot Corwin, the boy who had come with the sea and left with the wind. And though the bell now rang for birth and death, for joy and sorrow, she knew it carried one sound that no ear could hear, the echo of a love that had never been spoken, but had been felt all the same. And so, the bell of Eldemere rang on. Its voice returned, but forever laced with the memory of the silent girl and the boy who had been lost to the sea.
お電話ありがとうございます。
Like, share, and subscribe.